Right now at noon, surveying the damage. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein touring areas hit hard by Tropical Depression Chantal. His firsthand look at the extent of the damage.
And it's another weather alert day due to the threat for some dangerous heat and the potential for storms. I'll walk you through both of these risks hour by hour coming up.
And plane crash investigation, we're learning more about the family of 4 killed when their plane went down in Lee County. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. Today is a WRAL weather alert day with dangerous heat and severe storms, both a concern. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is here to let us know how hot it could feel and when some of those storms could fire up.
We expect the storms to develop later today, most likely this evening, just after the evening commute, but it's already very hot outside. Today we have a level 1 risk out of 5 for the entire viewing area. We also have a heat advisory in place. The heat index well into the triple digits, already above 105 at RDU. So this is a live look at the airport, just a few clouds. Look at that. The heat index already 106 with the actual air temperature 92. So dangerously hot outside. Feels like 106 in Raleigh and Durham. Feels like 109 in Clinton. It felt like 111 just in the last half hour in Clinton. So some dangerous heat. If you can, try to stay indoors. If you have to be outside, try to seek the shade if you can. Right now, the radar is totally quiet. No storms to speak of, but we do expect at least some to develop later on this evening. It's about a 30% chance during the evening commute. It goes up to a 40% chance at 7 o'clock through 9 o'clock. And any storms that develop today could be severe. I'll talk about the threat for some storms tomorrow and Thursday and the hour-by-hour timeline for those storms coming up in just a bit.
Amy, thank you. You can track severe weather with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It is free to download and use. Remember to turn on push notifications so you can get the latest weather updates sent right to your phone.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, Governor Josh Stein is in Mebane this afternoon to survey flood damage from Tropical Storm Chantal, seeing all of the damage from the flooding firsthand. We actually spoke with him just a little while ago about all of this. Take a listen.
Part of why I want to go out there is understand the extent of the infrastructural damage to water, wastewater, the roads, see how extensive that damage is. I talked with a couple of the sheriffs over the weekend, and they were saying there were widespread culverts washed out, some communities essentially disconnected from the roadways.
And Governor Stein is actually speaking with officials live right now. This is
In Central Texas, the search for survivors continues. The death toll from last week's catastrophic flooding has surpassed 100 people, and many more still remain missing. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest from Kerrville, Texas.
Well, the Texas Hill Country now in what is the 5th day of the search, rescue, and recovery.
Scrolling social media might actually be costing you money. 5 Under Side's Ashley Rowe explains how.
Get this, we spend about 2.5 hours on social media per day. That's according to researchers, and that is a whole lot of opportunity for advertisers to slide into your feed and try to convince you to buy their product. The folks at Wallet Hub studied how social media habits led to impulse buying. They found a lot of people unhappy with their purchases through social media ads and the dent it made in their budget. Take a look at these numbers. 4 in 5 said they would spend less money if they deleted their social media accounts. 1 in 5 described their social media purchases as scams, and 54% of people regret purchases that they made on social media.
We're not saying give up on social media altogether. Some people's livelihoods, businesses, their way of life revolves around social media. And it can be and is a great marketing tool, but you just have to be a little bit more careful when it comes to making purchases.
To avoid scams, if you see a great deal in an ad, go to the retailer's website and look it up yourself. If it's not there, chances are that ad is not legit. For 5 on Your Side, I'm Ashley Rowe.
Amazon's popular Prime Day kicks off today. Amazon will run Prime Day for 4 full days from July 8th today through Friday, the 11th. This is a change from the past. It is typically only 2 days. This is the first major change to the duration of Amazon's summer Prime Day festivities since 2017. It is now okay to keep your shoes on at some airports. Transportation Safety Administration will allow passengers at selected airports to keep their footwear on as they go through security checkpoints. People in screening lanes will have to keep their shoes on at selected airports, but the relaxation of the rules could expand nationwide in the future. The TSA has not yet announced the move formally, but stated in a Monday news release that it is exploring new and innovative ways to enhance the passenger experience and our strong security posture. Most passengers have been required to remove their shoes at checkpoints since 2006. And that brings us to today's WRAL Live poll, and we're asking, should TSA end that shoe removal policy nationwide? You can share your voice by scanning the QR code on your screen or head to WRAL.com/yourvoice, and we'll share the results before the end of this newscast.
I have a feeling that will be a resounding yes. I'm just saying. Yeah. I mean, right?
You don't have to worry about holes in your socks.
Or for those who wear sandals or anything, your bare feet touching that floor sometimes and walking through. Yeah, it's probably time to change the rules. Still to come, cleanup underway. Chapel Hill still reeling from flood damage. The efforts now underway to get things back to normal. Plus, shark attack. A man now recovering from a shark bite. Where it happened, coming up.
It is WRAL Weather Alert Day as we track major heat and the chance for storms later.
Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a check of today's forecast.
Yeah, dangerous heat with us today already. We have some very high heat index values, and we have that level 1 out of 5 severe risk for today as well. Right now, you can rest easy with the storms. It is totally clear on our live dual Doppler 5000. I don't expect storms to fire up until the evening hours. They'll be fairly isolated, but the ones that form could produce heavy rain and gusty winds. Already, it feels like 106 in Durham and in Raleigh. It feels like 102 in Lewisburg. 108 is what it feels like in South Hill. Let's check in on our southern counties and look at Clinton. Feels like 113. So this is some dangerous heat. I'll talk more about how long this dangerous heat will stick around coming up in just a bit.
Amy, thank you. You can track severe weather with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It is free to download and use. And remember to turn on those push notifications so you can get the latest weather updates sent right to your phone. Happening now, Governor Josh Stein is visiting some of the hardest hit areas from Chantal.
Yeah, he's touring Lake Michael Park in Mebane to survey the flood aftermath. And that's where we find WRAL's Laura Leslie. Laura, we just heard from the governor. What did he say?
Well, we're hearing, he's out here today to survey some damage that was at a dam that was actually under construction. I'm going to get out of the way and let you look at it. This dam at Lake Michael Park everything was closed off last fall, and they were in the process of reconstructing that dam, and they decided to add an additional dam on top of that, an extra 10 feet. And that extra 10 feet that they added saved 9 houses that were downstream from here, a little neighborhood. Those families were evacuated for the last couple of nights, but they're going to reassess today. Governor Stein today reiterating the importance of federal funding and state cooperation.
Major medical associations are suing leaders of U.S. health agencies over changes to COVID-19 guidance.
They're suing Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., as well as the heads of the FDA, the National Institutes of Health, and acting director of the CDC. In May, Kennedy announced the COVID-19 vaccine would no longer be recommended for pregnant people and healthy children on the CDC's immunization schedule.
This is concerning. Children's health in the U.S. is on the decline. New research shows kids becoming more likely to develop chronic conditions. A study published today in the Journal of the American Medical Association shows increased rates of obesity, anxiety, depression, and other health issues. It also shows that children in the U.S. born between 2007 and 2022 are nearly 2 times more likely to die than kids in other high-income countries. The study comes amid Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s recent report describing kids as, quote, undernourished and overmedicated.
Before you take a dip in the pool or pond this summer, health experts say you'll want to be mindful about what could be floating around in the water with you.
Water parks, pools, streams, and ponds can be potentially dangerous because of bacteria lurking around. One of the best ways to avoid getting sick is to not ingest the water.
Pools, water parks, and fountains are a great way to beat the summer heat. Unfortunately, some germs can resist chlorine long enough to spread from one person to another. These include norovirus, bacteria like E. coli, and parasites like Cryptosporidium and Giardia.
Meanwhile, if you prefer to go hiking instead of swimming, you could still encounter bacteria in water if you're not careful. Still to come, feelings and finances. Uncertain times can make planning difficult. A look at the concerns and considerations to keep in mind when making a big financial decision.
Plus, shark attack. A man is hospitalized after getting bit in the water. Why people on the beach aren't surprised. From national and global headlines to events in your day-to-day life, making big financial decisions can carry a lot of weight. So what do you do when the outside world seems to be adding even more anxiety?
Michael Yoshida shares ways to manage your feelings when managing your finances.
From conflicts to economic uncertainty and more, it can seem like the world is piling on top of our own concerns and considerations we face when making big financial decisions.
Money is something that we deal with 24/7.
Financial planner and financial therapist Rick Kaler says it's important to remember you can't control what's happening in the outside world, only your response to it.
90% of all financial decisions are made emotionally.
And when your anxiety seems to be in overdrive, consider how that may consciously and subconsciously influence your decisions. Kaler suggests trying to understand the stories, experiences, and traumas of your life, even if they have nothing to do with money.
All of this comes into play with every financial decision that we make. And the more stressed we are, the more triggered we are, the higher the chance of a poor financial decision playing out.
So whether it's a house, career change, growing your family, or something else, Kaler says be clear on what emotions may be at play.
When I can recognize, wow, I feel a lot of fear right now, maybe it's fear about what's going on in the world, that's a good time to take a pause if I'm looking at making a financial decision, even as small as buying the latte, and assess what is really going on.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida reporting.
A 40-year-old man was taken to the hospital after he was bitten by a shark in New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
Yeah, he's expected to live. The man was surfing when the attack happened. Other surfers at the New Smyrna Beach along Florida's Atlantic coast expressed concern about sharks there.
Every time I go out, I know I could definitely get bit. So for me, it's just another occurrence that we expect to happen. Honestly, I just say a little prayer, get out there and just have fun and stay close to my buddies and just keep a lookout.
New Smyrna Beach in Florida is known as the shark bite capital of the world. It's been the site of more than 300 shark attacks since the 1880s.
My goodness.
Find a new beach.
Yeah, Florida certainly no stranger to that, and the North Carolina coast has seen its share. We have yet to hear of any shark attacks yet this season so far off the North Carolina coast.
Own, though. We know that for sure. Down at the coast, I bet the heat index just as high as it is right now up here. And Amy Wilmoth in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look around town here.
That's right, it's hot. Temperatures are in the 90s, heat index values well into the triple digits in many locations. A live look at Apex, we have a little bit of cloud cover, no rain. In the gardens here at the TV studios, we have sunshine as well. It's very hot and steamy. This is a look at our tower here at the station. Blue sky with just a few clouds in the sky right now. The big story right now is the heat. The heat advisory continues until 8 o'clock this evening. The heat index, the highest I've seen so far at one point in time was 113 in Clinton. So very dangerous heat out there today. It's one of the reasons we issued a weather alert day for today. It's 90 in Clinton right now, 90 in Rocky Mount, 90 in Raleigh and Durham, and 92 in Southern Pines. But this is the dew point, 77, well into the tropical category, very, very high, and it feels very uncomfortable outside. Because of those high dew point values, it feels like 106 in Raleigh and Durham. It now feels like 108 in Southern Pines, 111 in Clinton, 106 is what it feels like in Goldsboro. So very hot out there. Take it easy. Try to stay in the AC if you can. I know that's not possible for everybody, but it's certainly a good day to stay indoors today because of the heat. The storms, they're not out there yet. It's very quiet on the radar right now. The closest rain I could find was in the southern part of the North Carolina mountains right now. Everywhere else it's quiet, but rain chances will start to go up this evening. A 30 to 40% chance of some very isolated storms that develop this evening. Any storms that form could produce some gusty winds and some very heavy downpours. Notice how Wednesday our rain chances go up to 40 to 60% chance. Thursday it's a 50% chance. Same thing Friday and Saturday. So we have several days in a row with decent rain chances. For today it's a level 1 out of 5 severe risk. It's the same thing for tomorrow and Thursday as well. This just means isolated severe storms are possible. They won't last that long, but the ones that do form could quickly become severe. We do have the potential for flooding. Today, it's a low-end risk for flooding. There's a medium risk for flooding up in Virginia, but a low-end risk for us, it's going to be pretty spotty storms that we have this evening. We jump ahead to tomorrow, and we are talking about a weather alert day for tomorrow. We're considering it. We're having conversations behind the scenes. It's a medium risk for flooding for a good part of the viewing area. And the problem is you saw all the rain that fell in the western part of our viewing area. It's just not going to take very much rain for there to be issues in our western counties. So a medium risk for flooding tomorrow, and the same thing for our western counties, really for most of the triangle on Thursday as well. So we have our eye on it. Just keep in mind any storms that form could produce very heavy rain, and that could lead to additional flooding in the coming days. So this is the potential rainfall all the way through Saturday, anywhere from about 2 to 3 inches of rain possible across the viewing area, with the highest totals likely in the western part of our viewing area. So a weather alert day today due to the high heat and also the potential for some spotty storms. 93 tomorrow. Storms are possible in the evening. 90 on Thursday with storms possible. No storm chances will stick with us through the weekend and into early next week.
Amy, thank you. Still to come, SpaceX launch.
The latest mission from Falcon 9 and what it's putting into orbit this time. Wrap things up with a look at a few of the headlines we're following for you today.
Today, crews recovered the body of one of 2 missing boaters on Jordan Lake. This comes more than 24 hours since they were last seen launching their canoe in Chatham County. That person's identity is not being released at this time. Crews are still searching for the other missing boater. Several agencies are involved in search efforts. They've been using boats and canines.
Right now, Governor Josh Stein is still visiting the hardest hit areas from Chantal's rainfall. He is touring Lake Michael Park in Mebane to survey the flood aftermath. Stein says he wants to see just how extensive the damage is to the infrastructure there. We'll bring you more from the governor's visits, along with updates on how recovery in other communities is going, coming up on our evening news starting at 4 o'clock.
We're learning more about a family of 4 killed in a plane crash in Lee County on their way home from the beach. They owned Buchanan Farms in Sanford, growing tobacco, running a food truck and produce stand. The farming community in that area is coming together to take care of those crops. They say the family's legacy will live on through their farm. How people are remembering the lives lost on our evening news starting at 4. The second day of the annual running of the bulls in Pamplona, Spain, only caused several minor injuries.
Yeah, local emergency services reported 7 minor injuries among the Spanish runners during the second day of Pamplona San Fermin Bull Run. Running of the bulls kicks off each day of the festival when thousands of runners tempt fate against several raging bulls sprinting through the city's cobblestone streets. The post-running festivities include eating, drinking, and cultural entertainment, if you make it there safely.
I suppose it's a thrill, but
yeah.
just Makes me nervous to watch.
Doesn't
watch
it? Like that, seeing that.
Ouch,
Yeah.
ouch. SpaceX sent 28 new Starlink satellites into space this morning. The Falcon 9 rocket left the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station just after 4 this morning. And this was the 22nd mission for Falcon 9. Once deployed and in their orbit, the satellites will join the more than 7,000 other Starlinks to provide internet service to many parts of the planet. One cereal brand is combining some breakfast staples with its new flavor. I could get on board with this.
This is interesting. General Mills is releasing a Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Hormel Black Label Bacon flavored cereal. Limited edition cereal will be available starting today. Here's the catch, though. The cereal will be available exclusively at Walmart.com.
I mean, you have the sweet and savory going.
You do have both.
And bacon makes everything good.
Everything. You just can't wrap it around this thing. It's weird. So, probably good. Releasing water here.
Yeah, there are concerns that local rivers and lakes could rise again with more rain coming our way. Today on WRAL News at 4, our crews are managing the levels in our area to prevent damaging floods again and help protect your drinking water.
Just hate seeing those scenes right there, and we have seen them all around our area. Heiko Lake, those boathouses, all the way to Jordan Lake and the tragedy that happened there. A lot of recovery going on.
Yeah, and that recovery process being a little complicated by the fact that it is so hot out there with our heat index getting up into 104, 106 with that heat advisory in place. And that is why today is the WRAL Weather Alert Day. You're looking live at the Fenton camera in Cary, that blazing sunshine, and it just feels like a sauna out there.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.